G'day everyone, Matt from Panda Explorers here. Today we are at the site of a former prisoner of war camp out at Graytown here in middle of Victoria pretty much, just outside of Heathcote. So join me as we have a look around and see what remains of this this camp that actually held German and Italian prisoners during World War II. You can see this is what the site used to look like back in the day. So it actually held about 250 prisoners, and as you can see, not much really remains other than like foundations. So we're going to have a look around and see if there's anything else that we can find. It's actually quite interesting, just reading that sign back there, as if you paused it and had a look, that the camp actually held like German soldiers off the military ships. I think the one that actually went down with HMAS Sydney, which is pretty massive, and they kept them out here to sort of stop them from interacting with Australian citizens in case they like try to help them out or something. So the actual camp shut in 1947. They actually held them captive until then. So I mean, that's 2 years after the war. That's pretty crazy. Actually, we're starting to come up with some foundations now, so let's have a look. Now, not a whole lot of information's around about exactly what these were for. As you can see, it looks to be like a fireplace over there. There's like some stumps. Actually, this looks like it might have been like a tower or something. It's quite crazy. See, that looks like a fireplace or something. There's like a bigger setup there as well. I've looked down this way too. So yeah, crazy. Looks like more foundations. You can see more brick there. Quite crazy, it's like more foundations just hidden in the bush, but as you can see there's a big one down here. It's strange to think that we actually had prisoner of war camps here. I mean, you think of Europe and these huge massive ones that held tens of thousands of people, and this one probably only held 250, just in the middle of the bush, middle of nowhere, and there's not much really remaining other than foundations. This one's quite preserved just in front. I mean, the foundations are reserved. This looks like it was a shower block or something. You can see like these little rooms. I'll stand up on it. So maybe it was like a shower block or toilet block or something. Looks like it was a fireplace. Maybe. Looks like it's been filled in. There's like stairs leading to there. Like doorways, but we'll see if we can find anything else. But this seems to be the edge of it, and I think it goes inland from the road. It's not something you see really much in Victoria, especially in the bush with cactus. Very strange. Apparently with this camp as well, they did a lot of like timber cutting, sort of put them to work. And as I can see further in the background, it looks like there's a dam over there. But I'll go in a little bit inland. I'm not too sure exactly how big this camp actually was, but apparently it used to have double barbed wire fencing, like guards, towers you would have seen in those photos back there. Just crazy that this was just out here, especially now that it's like on a main road. It's very unique. So, not too sure exactly what we're going to see out here. We might have to go back and just look in detail, because apparently it's like all barbed wire still and everything out here. I think I've seen some fencing, but we'll keep looking. But you can definitely tell that there's a lot of trees cut down out here. There's a lot of tin cans and stuff out here, sort of scattered everywhere. I mean, that could be a couple of years old, they could be really old. Here's some kangaroos. Came out of nowhere. There's fences here, but I don't know how old they are. They do look like they were put in a very long time ago. There's this little... Let's get my leg caught. Now this dam could have possibly been used for their water supply. It's probably highly likely. But as you can see behind me, now we're starting towards... As we get close to this camp, you can see there's a lot of barbed wire there. There's a lot of barbed wire here too. Seems like we're on the border of the main part. As you can see, it's just everywhere. There's a bit of concrete there. Not sure why. Some more tin. But yeah, this definitely seems like this was one of the borders. A lot of barbed wire. You can see there's another fence just here too. A lot shorter. So I think this might have been the main one. Not too sure if that's a random post there as well. Not sure if it was like a guard tower or something. There's a lot of questions I've got for things out here, but there's definitely a lot of barbed wire. A lot of barbed wire. And more fencing. That seems to lead back to where we were earlier. Well, it seems like the hunch was correct. There actually is more. There's more places in here. We'll get it close. Whatever this was, it was pretty big. It seems like a lot of these buildings, like that looks like maybe there was a fireplace there at some point, but it seems like a lot of these buildings actually were like had built-in showers or toilets or something, because there's a lot of these sort of big sections of slabs, and you can see it's like a drain along the edge, and it like leads down to like these little irrigation sections. But this is incredible, absolutely incredible. There's that dam up there. Seems like another big one here as well. Leads all the way down there, more irrigation. This is crazy. It's amazing this much stuff's out here. Yet all the buildings are gone. More channels. And more of that real high fencing as well. While I'm walking around, it's starting to, like, the more I'm seeing about like these channels and the way that these buildings are set up, I have a feeling that I may have seen a place like this before, and it's actually a lot closer to home. If you've seen my video about secrets in Plenty Gorge, I'll link it just here right now. But I believe that at some point did have a POW camp or something to do with the military back in the 40s, and the only thing I knew that was down there was a mill, and so I thought that may have had something to do with the mill, all that stuff down there, especially the slabs and the irrigation channels. But it seems as though it may have actually had a military base at some point, or some kind of little POW camp, so I'll have to go and double check it to make sure, but I have heard stories about it. But I'll keep having a little look, but we may have run out of things to see here. So it's been really interesting. Just when I thought there was nothing left, I saw all this barbed wire. I have one of those posts, and one more little, actually there's more barbed wire there too. Looks like there was a post there at some point. One more of these foundations. Now I have no idea what any of these would have been. They're probably mostly accommodation. And maybe a few offices, but there could possibly be more out there. I just feel as though it'll take up way too much time trying to find it all. Yeah, look at all this. So much barbed wire out here. You could go right up into the hills, I don't know. Crazy. Now we're on the edge, and there's more proof. There's fences. I can't believe all this. So much history here. Like this last little piece. Nothing like a generator room or something. There's only a few little bits and pieces attached to it. And there's like fencing there. Seems like this section, there's a lot of rubble there too. Seems like this section, that post just there, had like a gate sort of hinge on it. So maybe this part was like a bit more separate. So I think that might be it. I think this is the last little piece to look at. Unless there's more in the bush, but I just can't tell.
It's very overgrown.
Okay, so I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Amazing little find. I just happened to be driving past here, and yeah, it's been really fun sort of learning about and just finding the bits and pieces that made up this camp. So thank you all so much for watching. Remember, if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe. Try to get a video out like once a week. Been a little bit quiet lately, have been off the road. Haven't been able to explore anything. So remember, check us out on Instagram as well. Under it's _Panda Explores. I'll put it down below. If I find any photos about this place from the 40s, I'll add them into this video. And any information about it I'll place down in the description below. So thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, guys, this has been Panda Explores, and I'll see you guys on the next adventure.